Okay, today's topic: scapegoat, black sheep. How do you know if you are one? The first telltale sign whether you are a black sheep or a scapegoat, child of the family or family member of the family. Um, Let me break down black sheep. Usually, the black sheep is the person who does not fall in line of what they call "quote unquote" family dynamic. So they usually be the ones that everybody puts their blames on. Everybody can throw a lie on it. Everybody falls for them. They usually are the outcasts. Scapegoat, they are like the black sheep, but they usually do things that falls in line with the family dynamic just to keep from receiving the wrath like the black sheep does. Black sheep and scapegoats are usually our healers. They're natural born healers. How do we know? They're usually the ones that call the bullshit out the family. Like, if there was a lie that took place, they're the ones that actually cause the shit out. And usually within a toxic family dynamic, what they do little things like lie, make you seem like you're going crazy, put you in unfortunate circumstances, to make you seem like you're going crazy, but it's actually a tactic to silence you so that you would confine according to what they want and not enlighten everyone around you and them about who they are, without the illusion. Most black sheep and scapegoat family members come from a family dynamic that's religious based or some form of occult based, where they are confined to certain rules and they are told to be anything other than themselves. And usually black sheep, they are highly spiritual people to the point where they want to know more about spirituality, who is God for real. And most family members, if they are toxic, that has a religious background, they don't want you to question it. They don't feel like you should know more than what you're being taught, as far as who is God, outside of one book. Scapegoat, to single out what scapegoat is the cop-out guy. Basically, if you're coming from a toxic environment, the scapegoat is the person that cops that toxic family member out. 9 times out of 10, you know the phrase, throw a brick, hide your hand. Well, once the toxic family member hides their hand, it's time to cop out with the scapegoat. They're the person who did it. They're the reason why I acted the fool. If they never told me the truth, I never would have put my hand on them. That's a scapegoat. And a scapegoat and a black sheep can be the same thing. They usually get the least amount of support from the people around them because they are surrounded by people who can see their light. And when you're surrounded by people who are spaced confined, they like to make you feel inferior about your plans and your goals and what you want out of life. So usually a scapegoat, they build a family outside of their actual family dynamic that they were raised from. Black sheep, another thing about black sheep, just to kind of single them out, they are usually the blame guy. You know, if something goes bad, like for instance, normal people who get their house broken into, they will be like, oh my God, you know, my house got broken into, but hey, that happens all the time. If you're coming from a toxic environment, black sheep are usually the one who are blamed. They're like, oh my God, why didn't you cut the porch light on, or something like that. It's just always something petty. It's never the toxic family member's fault. It's always the black sheep's fault. And you might not have a clue of what's going on. You're just being blamed, and now all of a sudden you're the bad one of the family. Thank you. Very seldom, the golden child, which I will discuss later, what is a golden child, along with what's an infantilized child, what's a lost child, aka the invisible child. Very seldom, the golden child and the black sheep gets to a point where they get along and they get on one accord, and they pinpoint the toxic behavior. And trust and believe, the behavior that the golden child has is a reflection of who that parent or that guardian was to them. And usually, the golden child is the one who gets the most praise. Golden child is usually the one who makes the guardian or the parent looks beautiful. They are the one who receiving all the rewards, making most of the achievements, but they are the ones who are oblivious to the toxic behavior that is circling around them. Most golden child or children, they recognize the issue, very seldom correct it at hand. So it becomes a generational curse that does not become broken, because if the golden child and the black sheep does not come together, it becomes a broken bond within family dynamic. Not to say that the golden child doesn't experience their own level of trauma. Some golden children, depending on the household, let's say they had to take charge and had to basically be the second parent to a whole lot of children. They find themselves not wanting children, or if that particular child experienced abandonment, in some cases you have women who have a whole lot of children because they want to prove that they can be a better parent, and vice versa with fathers. Not to say that the golden child doesn't go through their own trials, because they do. They have an image to uphold. They have to continue to look good even when they want to crumble and fall. It's unfair, but that's the golden child. They have to keep that going until someone opens their mouth and breaks the silence about the situation. Or you will find yourself mentally in prison trying to wear this mask, and I believe physically just as well as energetically it's hot, but the golden child, the ones who chooses not to fix the problem, they're usually the messiest ones, but they are the ones who speak the least amount when shit hit the fan. Black sheep or the scapegoat, they're usually emphasized. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Emphasized, that's the word. Emphasized. Black sheep and scapegoats are usually emphasized, which means they will never become an adult to their parent, which means depending on the manipulation or how toxic the individual is when speaking to the black sheep or scapegoat, because usually 9 times out of 10 the black sheep or the scapegoat, they pinpoint the bullshit. But usually when you're being emphasized as the black sheep, you're being told you're disrespectful for asking questions or wanting to heal a situation instead of continuing the toxic behavior. Black sheep usually get the most backlash when it comes down to parenting. It's almost like they don't have a voice when it comes down to their children. It's almost like you do what I say or you consider unfit. And black sheep and scapegoats get the worst when it comes down to that, because they usually don't get the proper support and help. Okay, baby. That's needed without judgment or some type of toxic behavior behind the help support system. Truth be told, people pick and choose who they consider an adult once you get to the point in your life of paying bills, doing things behind closed doors, becoming a mother or a parent, having your own level of stress, your own worries, your own lessons in life, your own spiritual path that you may have with God yourself. And it comes to a certain point in time where we have to draw that line, a healthy boundary. Toxic people don't know what boundaries are. They find an issue with that. And sometimes it's good to set those healthy boundaries for you and not for the sake of someone else, because if not, you allow someone else to embody you, and you're going to find yourself later on down the line, and all your life and time had passed you by. You have done nothing that you really want to do because you spent most of your time making someone else happy. Last but not least, black sheep, scapegoat. Most black sheep and scapegoat family members, they grow up to become certain people within them life that mirrors who they were growing up. So if, let's just say, that black sheep grew up in a family dynamic where they were beaten every day or yelled at about the smallest things, depending on whether it's a male or female, they mirror that within their relationship and the people that they deal with, because they were taught that was love.